beginning, I was a good student in my class, a bookworm type of a person initially, and so at my time, when I was younger, and I'm talking 25 years ago, so we never got those opportunities in the sense that there was no guidance that we received on what are the career options and how you could go forward. And I don't think I was initially very ambitious about having a big career. I mean, that was not really something that I had planned, like I would say from the very beginning. Of course, I wanted to do some good work, but I really didn't know what I will be doing in my future in this thing. So it just happened that, how, of course, I loved biology and genetics, and that's how I got myself admitted in, first I did graduation and post-graduation, and I was a university topper in my graduation, so I could get admission into genetics, which was the highest, sought after branch at that point of time, and there were only 4 seats and I could get admission there.
And which college this was?
This was in Aligarh Muslim University. Okay. And yes, and I happened to be the only women, during my class, a big class.
This was the class of genetics.
In my master's, yes, genetics was the super speciality that I had chosen. But in the broad class of, masters, there were very few students. But I got encouragement from my teachers, and I never felt that I received any I have been a fortunate one, right? I would say that, and I got a lot of opportunities, and I could again I topped in my masters also. And then I could get admission in All India Institute of Medical Sciences for a PhD. So it just happened, I hadn't really planned that I'm going to be a researcher, but it was like, since I did not want to pursue medicine and I had taken biology, so we didn't know really what are the options, what are the career plans ahead. So it just automatically BSc, MSc and PhD, I felt that, somehow, that medicine did not interest me. I was more, into academics and not really into the, the clinical side of it was not really very appealing to me. So I was always on a bit more academic side of, reading, writing, those kind of things. I wasn't perfectly cut out for clinical medicine, and I didn't pursue it also, and I'm glad I didn't. But and so I joined for my PhD in the genetics unit at All India Institute of Medical Science. Well, I have learned it the hard way, and working in ICMR headquarters really makes you a strong, scientist, a strong human being, and we have really learned and groomed to handle a lot of things at a very short notice, and fortunately all those things came to my rescue. And like I told you, my mentor, Dr. Vasanta Muthuswamy, who is no longer amongst us, but she really inspired me, and she has really helped to mentor me in a way that, of course, all women or every human being, why only women, men, all of us have problems and difficulties on the home front, and we have to learn how to cope with that. We have to set up our systems, and so fortunately I had my family supported me, and we were able to go through that period, that difficult time. We could do it through things. Although I know of a lot of women who have faced a lot of bias and discrimination, and at certain points of time, every woman does when you're not taken seriously enough. But through years, in the initial years, that was the case at some times, but then gradually, people have understood, and that is only through your work. When people see that, your work is what is your identity, and then they do respect you and they do understand you. So there is no shortcut to that, probably. So, and also, so we have been able to work through that, and respect for each other. Some qualities will take you along, and listening to others. So these things really help you with coping up with a lot of things. So this department is actually working towards development of guidelines, policies, tools and instruments to help improve research. So we have been working on various guideline documents, and during COVID-19 actually India was amongst the first countries in the world to come up with a guideline very quickly to help the ethics committees do their reviews, because we wanted to do research quickly. We needed fast outcomes, quick turnaround times. We can't wait for the next ethics committee meeting after 3 to 8 months. So what we did was we made a new guideline for ethics committees so that they could have online meetings. They are more innovative in their approaches. They accept the revised methodologies, with let's say informed consent over telephones, or other non-paper methods of doing research. So this guideline has helped to guide the ethics committees, and I think it really helped, because we brought it out in April 2020 itself, and it has helped to put India on a global map also of bringing out a guideline. Also, we prepared some standard operating procedures for emergency reviews, for emergency meetings, and also there were provisions created that if one ethics committee is not able to meet, the researcher can approach another ethics committee in a vicinity or in a neighboring institution for approval, so that research does not stop. Research has to go on. So this was the kind of thing. And also we developed common forms for ethics committees, which is to help facilitate submission processes and make it easier for researchers. So this is one kind of work that we do. The second kind of work is that I am the member secretary of the Central Ethics Committee of ICMR. It's like a national committee. It works at the national level for ICMR and reviews large studies, multi-centers research studies that ICMR conducted to review those research ethically and see whether they can be implemented. So that's the other thing we do.